Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. I can't believe it's almost at the end of June 2020, and it's a great day for the Pirate Broadcast. I want to thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the fact that you're here. And if you're listening in, drop something in the comments so we can tell that you're here. You know, ask a question. We'd love to have the conversation here. And also, if you're listening to the replay, I'd love to get your response, your reaction, and also any questions that you might have. So let's go back and forth and create a conversation. It's another great day for the Pirate Broadcast, and we have another amazing guest that we're going to have a conversation with about manifestation and manifesting, and also a nomadic lifestyle. So we're going to be talking to Renee, and she is got a podcast. She's out here. She's currently living in the Texas arena, in Dallas area. And so, how are you this fine day, Renee?
I'm doing great, Russ. Thanks for having me today.
You know, it's amazing to think that, we come across interesting people doing interesting things. And I saw your profile and I thought, we really, at this point in time, 6 months into 2020, there's been so much chaos, so many things going on. A lot of people are challenged and there's a lot of things that are happening that are positive as well. So sometimes we have to take the initiative and actually manifest our future with intention and put that in place. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about what that looks like for you, how you're sharing that with your audience and your community, and what we can learn from it as we go forward in the second half of 2020. So can you talk us how you got to this point in your life and what you learned from it and where we can go from there?
Well, I guess it's one of those winding road stories.
I love those stories.
We always have those. I don't know, like you mentioned the nomadic part. And so I did travel a little bit, and I love being in different places. And so I like to go places, and I feel like, is it okay to sound?
Yeah. There's just some people in the audience. I'm just letting them say hello. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was hearing some noises. I wasn't sure what was happening.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I did some traveling, and I like the idea of being in places for a while and getting to know not just the people, but the areas. And somewhere along the way, I did learn that we were able to manifest our lives by thinking a different way. Basically, you can think a different way about what this life is all about, really, and that's like the beginning of this crazy rabbit hole that I'm on, rabbit trail.
Yeah. No kidding. So have you been doing this for a while? I mean, has this been the last few years or last 10 years, or how can you describe your journey in terms of duration? I mean, is this something you've practiced over years, over time?
I wish I could say I had practiced it over time. I can't say that we all practice it all the time every day. But as far as deliberately, it's only been a couple of years.
Okay.
One of the first things I manifested in my ignorance, actually, because I was new, is a 7-day cruise to Bermuda.
Very
and
nice.
That was one of those things that made me step back and go, I like this. How do I do more of this?
Yeah, let me practice.
Yeah, exactly. so that's when I started, I guess, taking it a little more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And the podcast actually is funny because it actually came from me wanting to talk to people who had manifested, and I wanted to see their techniques. And
Okay.
so I was posting around for what I call manifesting testimonials. And I was talking to people and not exactly finding anyone who wanted to share, on my podcast.
Right.
But then, so I decided to, interview who I found to interview. And so it ended up being more people that were in service related fields like hypnotherapist and psychotherapist, brand strategist.
Mm-hmm.
um, but along the way, I did, begin to get people who were interested in sharing about manifesting. And so we're doing both of them now. And it's our year of living our best life.
Okay.
So it's basically people helping people in a way, whatever what is it, their specialty is,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well, is that
So
a single podcast or is it more than one podcast? I know we were talking before the show, and so I just want people to be clear on how they can find you and where they can listen in on this subject, because there are a lot of people that are kind of shy about the fact that it sounds too woo woo, or things like that. However, I mean, even in business, you have intention, you have some specific
mhm,
goals in mind, you set up a structure, and all of these things. And it's a form for me, it's a form of manifesting the future and
mhm,
and bringing things to reality. And I just want to make sure that people understand that this is not it's not magic. It's not anything other than putting out energy in the right direction that allows you to receive something in return. And there's lots of different forms to that based on the conversations I've had. And so when you're talking to these other individuals, it's really important for people to understand that there's different ways to go about this process. I'm and that's Is that
exactly.
kind of your experience as well?
Yes, that is the reason that I went ahead and decided that I would do the interviews for the service people because, even if you have like one person had a best-selling book,
Mm-hmm.
and the book is telling about how he went from a certain type of life to a better type of life. And so I thought, well, you know what? That's also, in a way, it's manifesting a better life, even though he didn't maybe sit down and do the certain techniques that we use, but he did take an effort and time and energy, to not only make a better life for himself, but to share it with other people. And
Right.
so that's kind of the way I was looking at what I call the service people. But
Well,
I
some
don't know
people
a
call
lot.
it
Most
transformation.
transformational services.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Well,
and as far, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, so in the transformational, in any kind of service, really, I mean,
Yes.
our goal is to bring transformation to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
business advisor, you're advising on improving a business. If you're a health advisor, your health service industry, you're bringing better health to your clients in your community. If you're a
Right.
financial advisor, you're bringing all this transformation in a positive way to your community. And so people get hung up on these labels and terms. However,
Mm-hmm.
I think the intention and some of the things that we pursue are improvement. It's very seldom that we pursue less than we have not right now. Unless you're a minimalist, I guess, then that would be
Right.
a different story. So, what is there a theme or a thread that is connected to all of these individuals and their stories? Now that you've done the podcast for a while.
Right. Yeah. The thread is, a way to help other people move forward in life, basically. That's the living your best life theme for at least for the year.
Yeah. Hey, we have some questions here. Hey, Randy says good morning. Hey, Randy, good morning. We got to catch up soon.
Hi, Randy.
Olivia, the headline caught my attention. Intuitive life coach, fashion consultant, real estate. Wow. How do they relate, or how do they sync those seemingly different fields? So that's a great
Great question, Randy.
Again, so that's from Olivia. So
Oh, that was Olivia. Okay.
yeah.
Yes. So when I started having interest in being a coach,
Uh-huh.
I always had it in my mind that even though I wanted to do fashion consulting as well, is that I wanted to help people to have better inner lives, to think better about themselves and how they relate to the things that happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So the fashion consultant part was kind of an add-on. So like once you get your inside figured out, then we can work on your outside and how you see yourself differently. Maybe you would like to show off a different you. That
Okay.
was how those two. So that was
Almost
always
bringing
plan.
alignment into the individual. So
Right, the inside, the outside.
okay, I could see that happening because over the years, we all wear different uniforms for different circumstances, right? If you're
Right.
working in a corporate environment, that uniform, and I'm going to call it a uniform of sorts, is much different than if you were fishing off the coast of Florida, right?
Right, exactly.
So, and also it has to blend into your personality.
Mhm.
Fashion is such a um, kind of a personal thing,
Mhm.
just like the individual is. So, what steps did you take to become a life coach, or what does that actually mean? Is there did you is there special training, or is it just sharing your life experiences, or is it bringing that to the table in a different way? Is how does that work for you?
Well, in my case, it's a lot of life experiences, and I'm always, learning more things. That's kind of one thing that I've seen in common with other life coaches is that we're always learning, constantly learning.
Hmm.
So, learning about who we are as humans was actually very important to me. And so I see how we in society have been, how do I say this? How we've been taught to look at life in a different way.
Sure.
And I just believe there is another way that might be more beneficial, or other ways
Yeah.
that we can see life more beneficially. So,
There's lots of different ways. And
exactly.
Andrew asked, "Hey Russ, I'm always curious to know when someone calls themselves a life coach, if they have formal training or certification, or if it's based on life successes." So that's where the question came from. Is like,
Oh, I see. Right.
I've coached a lot of individuals, and it's more around the technology. It's and there's no certification for it except other than decades of experience, years of experience. And so it's really coaching is one of those things that you can be a mentor to anyone
Mhm.
if you have experience that they seek. So it's one
Right.
of those things that you have an opportunity to share and help others around you. And it's really, excuse me, it's really an opportunity to just help someone, right?
Right. Yes. And I notice different people are drawn to different people. I mean, you can have a million life coaches, you know,
Sure.
and every person that works with them is drawn to them. So it works out just fine for everyone.
So what do you think the difference is between, because this is fascinating to me, because a life coach is a title that's been very popular recently. However, for years, a mentor and masterminds and these ideas of people getting together to generate ideas, have conversations, and really help each other out. Is that something that you've developed over time, or you've had, or you just mentored somebody, or is it, where does life coach and mentor, what's the difference in your practice?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not totally sure how much a difference it is. Mine is, I've considered myself as a mindset trainer because it was kind of a little on the nose,
Uh-huh.
helping helping people look, like I said, to realize that what's going on in their minds is very important to what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
I guess I tend to be a bit literal about those types of things.
Okay.
And like I said, the more I've learned about humanity as a, well, I'm starting to call them a hybrid. We don't want to go woo woo on today, but and then I actually heard someone else mention hybrid because of having the body and the essence. And I kind of like that idea.
Hmm.
So I'm more of the woo woo type, but
Nothing
yeah,
wrong with
I'm
that.
more along the lines of, just opening eyes, opening
Yeah.
eyes for people.
Yeah. I want to say hi to a few people in the room. Make sure that people are recognized. So thank you, Andrew, for being here. Great question. I hope that answered your question. I think it's really about, there are formal training sessions for life coaches, and then there are also experience that, people seek. So it's really up to the individual what you're looking to accomplish. Also, Olivia, that's so cool. Manifesting testimonials. What is your manifestation methodology? Get my words put together. So Olivia was asking, what is your manifestation methodology? So that's a great
Well,
question.
okay, I'll first approach the testimonials because we didn't actually, I guess earlier you asked me about how the podcast is set up. Is it two podcasts? It's still set up as one. I just use different days to do different postings. So on
Oh, okay.
Sunday, right, Sunday I post the more service related interviews. And on Wednesday, I post what I call the manifesting testimonials. And I've had some doozies. Lots of people who are very, very good at manifesting. And it's, they do it as coaching services
Mm-hmm.
coming from that view of manifesting. Um, my personal favorite way to manifest is simply to use what is called the law of assumption, which is simply that you believe what you say is true.
The
And
mind
it's
doesn't know the difference.
exactly. And you know that, Russ, but a
Yeah.
lot of people in society do not know that.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what, is taught with the various coaches is how to play with it and experiment. And I just believe it's really just so much fun when you realize what I call these powers that we have that we've been using every day all our lives and
Yeah.
we just didn't know it.
I think, I truly believe, Renee, that our abilities are barely even tapped in what we can accomplish.
Yeah.
And it's our own mind that traps us. It's our own limitation that we place in our and we all do it. I mean, I'm a
Yes.
practitioner all the time. It's like, okay, okay, I can or cannot do this. And it seems like when you just state that you can do it and then you start doing it, things
Right.
go so much quicker, so much easier, and they flow. And I think that's we talk about a flow state. It's like music.
Yeah.
As a musician, I could get in the groove and go for hours and not even think about time. Time
Right.
goes away, and it's
That's
associated with that idea, that concept that our mind plays tricks on us and limits
right.
us in so many ways. So why couldn't we? We are not our mind, right? We have the
Right.
ability, opportunities, like the assumption. I'm going to say that this is true and act like it's true, speak like it's true, and then
Right.
it becomes true, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
It's so fun.
it is so fun, and it's almost an exercise in helping yourself improve.
Yes.
It's like the first time you learn something. Like I was over the weekend, I was working on a project and I had to learn something that I had never done before. And so I was hesitant to do it, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to pursue it because I knew it would be challenging, not impossible, just challenging. However, it was, in fact, it took some time, and I just said, "Hey, I'm going to do this," and so I was able to do it. And I think so many people just decide that it's too much work, it's too much effort, and that's when it's hard for people to get through that process.
It
So
takes persistence. If it
persistence.
doesn't happen right away, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means you have to hold on to your faith that you started out with.
Yeah,
And like you said, keep in the flow.
go with the flow, keep it going. And I want to some chai from Thailand. Thank you for being here. Awesome. Thank you. Sarathi, hey, how are you doing? Thank you for being here today. A happy morning, evening for you guys. Have a happy week. Be blessed and stay safe, all pirates. Yes.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Then there's Rob. Hey, Rob, how you doing? Fantastic that you're here. Love the pirates. You can be a mentor to anyone if you have the advice they seek. Thanks, Russ. That's appreciative.
Yes.
So much.
Right.
And Con, good morning, Russ and Francelene. Ahoy, pirates.
Hi.
You are now a pirate. Thank you so much.
Ahoy.
Hey, good morning, all. There's another pirate in the room. Olivia
Lots of
says,
friendly
law.
people.
I love that. Law of assumption. I believe what I say is true. Thank you so much.
Yes. You're welcome.
Okay, so she has a question. What's a good example of law of assumption?
Okay. A good example of law of assumption.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give my pie example. This is kind of fun. I was just learning about all of this, and I decided I wanted some free pie. And so I was sitting in the car on the way into the restaurant, and I said, "This is a great night for free pie." And so I went in and I sat down and I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this free pie. So I ordered the pie and I ate the pie. And as I'm sitting there, I'm done. And, I was like on my phone. I was just kind of hanging out. And the waitress came over and said, you know what? I'm going to pay for your pie today. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
Just like that.
Just like that. And I've been to this place before. She's never paid for my pie before or since.
She just decided to pay for your pie that day.
She decided to pay for my pie. And it's just, like I said, it's fun, especially if you're just getting into it, just, do fun things like that.
Yeah, take small adventures, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's just, and then you can build up to bigger adventures.
that's fantastic. So, Carol Campos, hello, how are you, Carol? Love that you're here. And
Hi, Carol.
Rob's great. And congratulations on becoming a pirate, Francelene.
Oh, thank you. You
Thank
have
you
very
so much.
friendly people.
So it's really, here's the thing, and the message that I think is really taking away from this conversation is that the idea that we have an opportunity to change the way we see the world and we
Yeah.
experience the world, as long as we're
Absolutely.
open to the idea that we can make a difference, right?
Yes. Open.
We're open. I mean, that's the whole point of the pirate broadcast is bringing interesting people like yourself in, doing interesting things, and
Mhm.
not everybody's willing to take ownership of their future, and their life circumstances,
Right.
and I think that there's really a big push. Like I say, kindness is such an important part of my life, and it's been an important part of my life because I've seen so many tragedies, and I've seen so many circumstances that are unfortunate. However,
Yeah.
that doesn't circumvent the idea that we can be kind to each other. We can have a little empathy towards each other and understand what other people are doing. You shouldn't
Right.
you shouldn't judge other people because they think differently than you. You should
Mhm.
you should be open to the idea that that's what makes the world a better place, is all of these
Right.
different ideas. So I look forward
Yes.
to the opportunity where people are listening more, learning, and open to the idea that we can change, we can become humanity, and we don't have to
Yes.
agree with everything. We just have to
Nope.
have the idea that there are other people that that see things in a different way than we do, and accept it. It's okay. So,
Yes.
so what's what's the gift that you would like to leave with the pirate community now that you're a pirate? That something something that an idea that we could take for the day and move forward with and share with others. Is there a life goal or uh, an idea that you love to share with other people along the way?
I would like people to just start playing with the law of assumption. Fun things like getting free
Free,
coffee.
free
You can
pie.
start free pie, free pie, free coffee. It's fun to play with it, and honestly, the more fun that you have with it, the faster it happens. It's all about like he was mentioning, being in the flow
Yeah,
of things and just having fun with it. If it doesn't happen today, it doesn't mean it won't happen next week.
yeah.
So,
And you can always give away free smiles along the way.
yes, that's always encouraged.
Always encouraged. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate this, and I thank you for being a pirate and coming on and talking about manifestation and some of the things that you've been doing. Uh, I encourage you, if you're not connected, what's the best way to connect with you, Renee?
So, best way to connect with the podcast is sandsofthemind.wordpress.com.
Okay.
And to work with me or contact me, it's limitlessmanifesting.carrd.co or facebook.com/limitlessmanifesting or instagram.com
Okay.
slash limitless manifesting. So there's a theme.
Limitless manifesting. And we'll put those in the show notes at
Sure.
russjohns.com so you'll have access to that. And I'll share this out with you. The show will be recorded. It'll be a podcast. It'll be a transcription. It'll be an episode on russjohns.com. So I'll share that out with you once that's
Awesome.
published and produced. And I thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I'd like to start with something fun and then build up with that. Wow, free pie. I love that. And so great point, Rob. Thank you so much for everyone being here today. I love the opportunity to share these stories with you and experiences so you can have also an idea, plant a seed, help someone out, because kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.